Welcome everyone, I am Precious Listana. I was the Youth of the Year Tenderloin Clubhouse, and I am the founder of Executive Function Coach and Tutors, an organization dedicated to coaching 4th grade to college level neurodivergent students. Within a semester, we coach them to develop systems to plan their week, improve their GPAs, and develop stronger relationships with their family.
And I'm Diego Miller, the 2024 Citywide Youth of the Year, and currently a freshman at the University of California, Merced.
Thank you all for joining us today.
We are excited to welcome over 650 people here. We are also excited to be sharing this experience through the live streams and to those of you tuning in from home, and especially to the members and staff faculty holding watch parties at over 13 locations across the city of San Francisco.
To get things started, please join us in welcoming today's honorees. Let's give it up for our 9 2025 Youth of the Year.
As Citywide Youth of the Year, I know firsthand how special and impactful this leadership program can be, and is. For 5 months, all of the finalists have worked hard to find and understand their own story, to strengthen their leadership and characteristics, and to develop their public speaking skills. And they have learned to share their personal stories through essays and speeches to truly articulate themselves.
There's no doubt that the Youth of the Year program requires a lot of hard work, reflection, perseverance, and determination. To all the finalists, we want you all to know how truly inspired we are by your incredible accomplishments and your drive. We are so proud and excited to be here celebrating you today. As
we close, I want to acknowledge the many former Youth of the Year in the room tonight, including Yaret Bello, who is on the selection committee this year, and Sabrina McFarland, who went on to be the National Youth of the Year in 2019. Now, let's take a moment to see where some of our former Youth of the Year are today.
Please welcome Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco's president, Rob Connolly, to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Precious Diego, thank you for welcoming everyone. Thank you for coming back, representing our Youth of the Year alum. Great to see you both. Great to know how well you both are doing. Today, as you all know, we're here to celebrate 9 outstanding young people. And we are thrilled that you all made time in your day to be with us to celebrate these young people and to celebrate the work of Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco. I want to thank and welcome our Board of Governors, our trustees, our emeritus board members, our board alum, our Next Gen Leadership Council. Across these groups, we have 56 representatives. A special recognition to Sanjay Banker, our board chair. Welcome to him. A big thank you to Charles Schwab and Company, who are in this group over here, for being the presenting sponsor again this year. A warm welcome to all the Schwabies, and in particular, a welcome to Stacy Hammond, the Chief Marketing Officer, who we are looking forward to having join our board later this year. I want to recognize our reception sponsor, LBA Realty, and in particular, Don Shaver, our former board chair, who's over in table over here, as well as his partner, Dave Thomas. They're both do a great job of advocating within LBA, and they're both very generous as individuals. A big thank you to our three event chairs. So Heather Childs, who you'll hear from later, Julian Eisen, and Eli Weiss. You all did an amazing job of filling the room, raising money. We really appreciate you all. I'm really excited to have the Warriors represented today, the Giants, the Valkyries, and Bay FC. Having these four sports teams support us is terrific, and we are really, really excited about the growth in women's sports. For the girls at the club, for my own two girls, it is just awesome to see how sports has taken off with women. I'm also really excited to recognize and thank the Guardsmen. Their support each year is just outstanding. Without the Guardsmen's support, Camp Mendocino would not be possible. We have two tables of Guardsmen here, plus we have several Guardsmen who are spread across the room who serve on our Board of Governors. The relationship is one of the oldest and most important relationships that our organization has. I want to recognize the selection committee. So there's a group of folks who come together to select who our Youth of the Year is. And this happened about a week ago. And so a few of us, very few, know who today's citywide Youth of the Year is going to be. So that group had Yurette Bayo, who you heard earlier mentioned. She was an alum of the Youth of the Year program, so we always have an alum on the selection committee. So Yurette, thank you. She was the 2019 Youth of the Year from the Mission Clubhouse. We had Troy D'Amico, who represented the Next Gen Leadership Council. We always have someone from that group. And then we had four other really great selection committee members, Lauren Weiss, Katie Markov, and Miley Nguyen Adams. So thank you all for your careful consideration and your thoughtfulness in the process. Happy to have several representatives from city government. Our president of the Board of Supervisors from District 8, where our Columbia Park Clubhouse is, Raphael Mandelman. Raphael, thank you for being here. Supervisor Cheyenne Chen from District 11, thank you for joining us today. As you'll see in a second, we have Youth of the Year events that happen all throughout the month of January at clubhouses, and we celebrate young people of all ages, and you'll see more of that in a minute. And a bunch of supervisors come out for those events, including Supervisor Mandelman, Supervisor Walton, Supervisor Mahmood, Supervisor Fielder, and Supervisor Chen. So thank you for coming out, recognizing our young people in their clubhouse, and it was just always great to sort of have city government recognize the work of the Boys and Girls Club. As well, I want to recognize staff from Supervisor Dorsey's office and staff from DA Brooke Jenkins' office. Now, to the guests of honor. I want to recognize, appreciate, and honor our 9 Youth of the Year. I have had the good fortune of working with each of you, and I have loved every minute of it. The opportunity to spend time with you, to support you in finding and articulating your story is by far my favorite thing I get a chance to do each year. So Majestic and Elda, Kathy, Yazaira, Imogen, Leslie, Lisette, Justino, and Janelle. This is your moment. Enjoy it. You've worked really hard to get to this point. You were all convinced at the beginning of this program, as we were together up at Camp Mendocino in October, that you couldn't get up in front of a room this big and speak and tell your story, and now you are about to. My encouragement is to stop long enough to enjoy it, right? These lunches go fast. pause, enjoy it, take it in. You are being celebrated today. Never forget that you can do hard things. And when you doubt yourself in the future, remember today and your journey to today. To all of you in the room and those on the live stream, I've said this before and I'll say it again, probably again and again. Don't feel sorry for these young people. That is not what today is about in any way. Be proud of them, root for them, believe in them. And please, make decisions in your lives that make their lives better, not more difficult. A huge thanks to our staff. Staff at the clubs and at camp provide the opportunities kids need to realize their full potential. Boys and Girls Club is the connective tissue between kids and their education, between kids and their communities. The club links young people to jobs and teaches them about career opportunities that they may enjoy. We provide experiences around the community and outside of San Francisco, and these things expand kids' horizons. And we inspire them to learn, to grow, to dream, to work hard, and then to go out and realize those dreams. Our city is way better off because the Boys and Girls Clubs has been here in this city since 1891, working with young people and supporting families. Later in the program, Heather Childs will come up and talk to you about supporting the club. I'll just tee that up by saying we will have a match of $50,000. We would love your support. Right? We are subtle in our asks here. We don't do any raise the paddle or anything else. We just simply ask, if you're moved by what you see, if you think the Boys and Girls Club matters, we ask you to consider supporting our organization. With that, I'm going to get out of the way and let our 9 Youth of the Year shine. Thank you all for being here.
Youth of the Year is Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco's signature leadership development and advocacy program, and is one of the most well-loved and impactful connections we have with teens.
Each year, a Youth of the Year is chosen from their individual clubhouses to tell their authentic stories and demonstrate their leadership.
Hi, we are the 2025 Youth of the Year.
We are inspired by every one of these incredible young leaders. Today, one of them will have the additional honor of being named the 2025 Charles Schwab Citywide Youth of the Year.
Before we hear from our amazing youth, we wanted to share just how much this program shows up and impacts our club culture and approach to programming.
The Youth of the Year program is a culmination of a much larger year-long recognition program that focuses on acknowledging and making club members of all ages aware of their own leadership abilities. This process starts in elementary school, continues into middle school, and culminates in high school.
Consistent, thoughtful, and specific recognition is powerful. As a result of it, we see club youth become motivated to seek opportunities for leadership and to act as responsible members of the clubhouse community.
Over the past month, each of our clubhouses held their own Youth of the Year celebrations. These events celebrate youth of all ages with Youth of the Year awards given out for each department at clubs. Families are there to celebrate their children's accomplishments as well.
When youth feel valued and understood, they set higher goals, persevere through challenges, and develop the confidence needed to succeed.
Thanks, Ariel, for helping me express myself through photography.
Thank you, Leanne and Oscar, for always supporting me.
I want to thank the Sunnydale Clubhouse for always believing in me and being my second family.
Thank you, Camp, for helping me become who I am today.
Thank you, Sky, for always making me feel seen.
Thank you, Tenderloin Clubhouse and Martha, for always being there for me.
Shout out to the aquatic staff for always bringing the party.
Thanks, Jenny, for always being by my side.
Thank you, Daniel, for always being there for me.
Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco is proud to recognize our youth and support young people in reaching their full potential.
I want to be a role model for my community.
I want all teens to have access to mental health resources.
I want to raise awareness for generational trauma.
I will open the door for change in my community.
I strive to empower my community to live happy, healthy, and safer lifestyles.
I want to inspire change that protects the planet and those on it.
I want to make higher education accessible for POC youth.
I will advocate for a better future for the next generation.
I want youth to know it's okay to be vulnerable.
We are the change. We are the future.
Hi, I am Imogen. I am 17 years old and I am the 2025 Don Fisher Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I have been a member of the Don Fisher Clubhouse for 8 years. I am a member of our swim team, so I love coming to practice, spending time with my teammates. I am a swim coach, swim instructor, lifeguard. It's really fun to share my passion with the younger kids. I really enjoy talking with other staff members. It's really cool to connect with people from all different backgrounds. My mentor is John, my swim coach. I really admire his positive outlook on life, his kindness, and I really appreciate his humor.
One of Imogen's greatest strengths as a leader is her emotional intelligence. Imogen knows what to say and how to say it to the individual, making them feel wanted, cared for, and welcome at our club.
My future plans are to attend a 4-year university for veterinary sciences. I plan to use my degree to pursue a career in the field that I'm really passionate about and to continue taking a stand on my beliefs. The pool has always been my safe haven, a place where life feels clear and weightless. At first, it was just about floating, trusting the water to hold me up. But as I have grown, it has become something more, each lap teaching me strength, focus, and perseverance. Over my 17 years, I've cultivated many passions, but today I want to share the one that has truly shaped me into who I am, swimming. Growing up in San Francisco as the middle child between 2 sisters in a family shaped by divorce, I learned quickly how much community matters. From the moment I stepped into the Don Fisher Clubhouse 8 years ago, I knew I had found something special. Swimming created an escape from the challenges in my outside life. When I started lessons at Don Fisher, I was thrilled to learn the proper strokes and gain regular access to a pool. But what I didn't expect to find was the incredible community, a community that has supported me and helped me grow ever since. John, my swim coach of 4 years, has been a cornerstone of that support. His compassion creates a space where kids can feel safe and valued. One of the first times I realized how vital my swim community was when the pandemic hit. John took swim practice to the bay. Although that time was stressful for many, I was having the time of my life exploring SF and exercising outdoors. This experience showed me how it wasn't the pool that kept me coming back to the club, but the joy from being part of a team. The pool has guided me through so many challenges. For a long time, I struggled with feeling like my energy was uncontrollable, and I didn't understand why. It wasn't until 12th grade that everything clicked, when I was diagnosed with ADHD. Suddenly, all of my boundless energy made sense. I realized I had been channeling this energy into swimming for years. The pool gave me a place to drown out distractions of my life and focus on my own goals. Growing up surrounded by successful women, I didn't understand the amount of effort and strength it took for them to reach that success. I didn't see the barriers women faced, moments of being overlooked, underestimated, or silenced, until I found them myself. Knowing I had support from the club helped me persevere through these frustrations. Now that I see the resilience of my mom, my sisters, and loved ones, I'm inspired to push through my own barriers. I strive to embody the same strength they've shown me. I'll carry these lessons forward, using my voice and my experiences to inspire change in every community that I am a part of. Just as I found inspiration through the women in my life, I also found inspiration in working with animals. As I work towards my future in veterinary sciences, I'm excited to encounter new ways of making a difference. Every leap into the deep end has taught me that growth comes from taking chances. The pool has been my greatest teacher, showing me how to trust myself, push forward, and rise above life's waves. My name is Imogen, and I'm the 2025 Don Fisher Clubhouse Youth of the Year.
Hi, my name is Kathy. I'm 16 years old, and I am the 2025 Columbia Park Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I've been a member of the Columbia Park Clubhouse for 9 years. I love to spend time in the art room. Sometimes we do tie-dye shirts or tote bags, and sometimes we get to paint. Another activity I do at the club is being a club leader in training. I work with the kids, help them with their homework, and I just enjoy talking to them. Getting to know people around at the club has also been really impactful. My mentor is Oscar. He is always there when I need him. I usually come with him with my problems and open up, and he just creates a really safe space for me.
What makes Kathy a great leader is she just leads by example. She's kind and responsible, and she's somebody that you want all the other kids to follow in her footsteps.
I plan on going to a 4-year college and potentially getting my master's degree to help people in my community with their mental health by being a therapist. A flower cannot blossom without pushing through the dirt. As Roy T. Bennett said, growth begins at the end of your comfort zone. Just as a flower needs to break through to reach the sun, I have also grown. I attended the club since I was 7 years old. It felt like a zoo. There were herds of kids everywhere, and I wanted to escape. This led me to ballet. It was a small class, and it made me feel more comfortable. In ballet, I would watch the dancers do fouettes. They would spin and become a blur of emotions and color. Through ballet, I not only found a passion, but I started to make friends, including one of my closest friends, Jimena. Unfortunately, I had to stop dancing when I was 10 years old because of a foot problem. Giving up ballet was really difficult for me. That was the day the little girl in me, who dreamed of becoming a ballerina, died. It felt like I was slowly dying like a withering flower. However, in middle school, having nothing to do in the summer and my parents not wanting me at home, they put me back into the club. At first, I didn't want to go there since there would be many kids and I was nervous to talk to them. Reluctantly, I went with my younger sister and helped to have her with me. As summer passed, I began to enjoy going to the club. There, I found Bill Mayfield, who was the art director. The room was spacious and quiet. Just near the entrance, there were a few computers for the kids to find tutorials to draw. To the left, there would be an airbrush station, and to the right, there would be an area to draw or paint. With Bill, I learned about art and how to draw and paint. Then the club felt like a space where I could continue to make friends and explore new passions. As I started freshman year, uneasy to start high school since it was a new environment and I wasn't used to it, keeping my grade high was a priority for me, so I took a breather from the club. But the summer after freshman year, I came back to the club. This time, I wanted to be there. I missed the club. Fortunately, the club then felt the same, and an overwhelming sensation of nostalgia poured over me. I saw so many familiar faces, not only the staff, but a few of my friends, and they all greeted me with a smile. Throughout the summer after freshman year, I connected there with the staff too. With the help of Oscar, the club's high school director, I found photography, a new passion. With Edmark and Leanne, they introduced me to volleyball. It was really fun, and I made new friends through it. Despite leaving many times over the past 9 years, the club has been my constant throughout these years. I found a safe place where I could bloom. I found people who I can confide in and open up to. I hope every youth can overcome their losses in life, whatever it may be, and find new passions and people who they can confide in. My name is Katherine. I am a proud Latina, sister, daughter of loving parents, and the first in my family to go to college, and the 2025 Columbia Park Clubhouse Youth of the Year.
Hi, my name is Lisette. I'm 18 years old, and I'm the 2025 Mission Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I've been a member of the Mission Clubhouse for 12 years. One of my favorite activities at the club is tea nights. We've been able to order pizza, have karaoke nights, and play Super Smash Bros. It's been really meaningful for me to write songs with Chloe at Notes for Notes. I've been able to write about my family and how I've been thankful for the Boys and Girls Club.
My mentor is Ariel because he has helped me become more comfortable with the camera and helping me express my creativity. I talked to him about how I'm ready to go to college and how I'm happy that I finally found a job that I like.
In the last few years, Lisette showed her leadership. She's positive, good energy, flexible, and became the heart and the spirit of the teen center here at the Mission Clubhouse.
My future plans are going to a four-year college and double major in either music, marketing, or Chicano and Chicana studies. I want to uplift youth within my community in order to help them express themselves.
For the one-year anniversary of my uncle's passing, a celebration honoring his life was held at the Mission Clubhouse on a Thursday. Friends, family, and staff members who cherished him gathered to celebrate his life. I was only 7 years old at the time, but club staff went out of their way to make sure I knew that they cared about me. The high school service director, Ivan, asked for my help in decorating an altar dedicated to my uncle Cesar. Seeing this reminder of Cesar in the teen center every day made me feel welcomed and comforted to know that people cared about him. For the last 4 years, I am blessed to call the same teen center my second home. Cesar influenced my entire childhood. Although he passed 13 years ago, I still consider him a significant role model. He's the reason I became a member of the Mission Clubhouse when I was just 6 years old, and the reason I still go every day. When I first started attending the club, I had a speech impediment, making me a target of bullying by a group of kids who used to be my friends. I was already shy and kept to myself. The bullying only made it worse, until I met my first mentor at the club, Omar. His thoughtful guidance broke me out of my bubble, participating in the vast majority of programs offered to the members. These programs included Keystone, which helped me become the leader I am today, and photography, which introduced me to other forms of visual art. The most significant program I discovered at the club is Notes for Notes. The summer before my junior year, Chloe, the Notes for Notes director from the Excelsior Clubhouse, ran a music program at Mission. Chloe was kind and very encouraging, helping me express myself through singing and writing music. One of the first songs I wrote and produced was a soft lullaby which I named Every Step of the Way. I wrote about how much I care about my siblings, how I'll be there for them wherever and whenever they need me. Through producing and performing, I'm able to express my emotions. Due to Notes for Notes, I was invited to sing at multiple club events, especially the club's gala, where 700 people were able to hear my melodies through my connection with the club. With these opportunities, I visualized myself double majoring in music and marketing with a minor Chicano studies. After graduating from college, I want to pursue a career in the music industry, where my voice will uplift my Latino community and bring positive awareness of our culture and history. Too often, we are portrayed in the media as criminals and gang members. This was the fate of Cesar. People should know that he volunteered in the community and had dreams. Because of Cesar, I will continue to be the same type of role model and use my voice to sing against the negative assumptions of my community and fight back against discrimination. Every chord I sing debunks the assumptions against my heritage. Every verse I write will be used to promote prosperity with the younger youth of my generation. My name is Lisette, and I am proud to be the 2025 Mission Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elda. I'm 17 years old, and I'm the 2025 Willie Mays Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I've been a member of the Willie Mays Clubhouse for 3 years. At the club, I really enjoy playing sports with the kids like basketball and tennis. I think the most meaningful part of my club experience is the community. Not only is it a fun place to go after school, but it's also a group of adults and kids who I know care about me. My mentor is Sky. She's part of the career path that I want to be in, so she inspires me to keep going and gives me great advice. She also just makes me feel seen, and we have a lot of jokes and stuff.
Elda is very compassionate, and I think through her compassion she's able to inspire youth and staff in the clubhouse. She engages in really challenging discussions, whether it's about race, gender, Through that, people are able to learn about others, and she creates a safe space and a fun space to have those conversations. So it's very special.
In the future, I want to become a child psychiatrist. I've always really been passionate about mental health, and I love working with kids, and hopefully I'll be able to go back to my community and help make a difference.
Are we pretending that the African American community of San Francisco isn't the most violent and hateful community we have? That quote was spoken by the director and treasurer of a foundation called Friends of Lowell, a group whose purpose was to fight against students like me, students who didn't deserve to be in their space. I'll never forget the day I was called a Hunters Point hooligan after being admitted to Lowell High School. At first, I felt ashamed of where I was from, and ashamed of what it meant to be me. But here's the thing about shame. It's only powerful if you believe it's yours to hold. I grew up in Hunters Point, raised by my immigrant mother, who never finished high school but worked tirelessly to provide for us. Our corner store were covered with banners advertising cheap liquor, reminders of a community battling addiction. The closest grocery store, a fraction of the size of a regular one, offered limited healthy options, mostly processed food and snacks. Our food desert was just another reminder of the lack of resources in our neighborhood. To give me better opportunities, I was sent across the city to wealthier, racially homogenous schools. I excelled academically, but socially I felt out of place. My success surprised people. I was the exception, a rare case of someone from Hunters Point defying the odds. It wasn't until I started working at the Boys and Girls Club that things began to shift. The club gave me a space to breathe and be myself. It became a place where excellence was expected, not an exception. It was the first time I felt my growth was encouraged without questioning my worth. One of the most powerful lessons I learned came from an 11-year-old member. He asked me to DoorDash him some food, and when I asked about his birthday money, he casually replied, "I spent it all on a Gucci belt." His answer made me realize how deeply ingrained consumer culture was for the kids. So we started a financial literacy program using concession stands at a basketball game to teach budgeting, profit tracking, and the value of every dollar. Their understanding of money management grew, but the lesson went far beyond money. It was about making smart choices for a better future. However, my time at the club was so much more than just programming. One of the most important relationships I built at the club was with Sky, the behavioral health specialist. She showed me that support is more than solving problems. It's about showing up when people need you most. Sky and other mentors at the club created a sense of community where I truly felt I belonged. The kids became like my younger siblings, and the adults became my village. The Boys and Girls Club changed the trajectory of my life. It gave me the tools to understand myself, the resources to grow, and a community that believed in me. It's where I found my belonging, where I saw my potential, and where I learned I mattered. This fall, I'll attend Boston University on a full tuition scholarship, majoring in behavioral biology. I hope to give back to my community just like Sky and other mentors gave to me. The world may see kids like me as hooligans, but we know the truth. We are capable of so much more. My name is Elda, and I'm the 2025 Willie Mays Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Justino, I'm 17, and I am the 2025 Camp Mendocino Youth of the Year. I've been going to camp for 6 years. When I'm at camp, I really enjoy hanging out with my friends and just enjoying nature in general. I have a lot of connections with the staff. Hanging out with them while doing their activities is really fun. Because I've been going to camp for 6 years, it really is my second home, and I have a really deep connection with that place, and sometimes I feel really sad when I have to leave. My mentor is Frankie. She helps me a lot with socializing around Boys and Girls Club and helps me become more comfortable speaking around people.
When I think of Justino's presence at camp, I think of how bright he is and inviting he is, and how that energy just makes everybody feel super included and comfortable around him. I think in Justino's future, he will be able to spread his message of community and health by using his magnetic personality and incredible social skills.
In the future, I plan on going to college for cinematography and later on in my life, working in the entertainment field. As I waved goodbye to my mom from the camp bus, I felt scared. It was my first time being away from home for so long, and even though I was excited for the adventure, I missed my mom almost immediately. My 11-year-old brain had so many questions. I wondered, would I make friends? What would I do? Where would I sleep? And are we there yet? During the 4-hour hot and bumpy bus ride, all I did was stare out the window. I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a book, and I didn't know anyone. Our first night, Omar, the assistant camp director, stood at the flagpole and let everyone know what to expect for our next 10 days in the woods. He explained all the activities we would do, everything from arts and crafts to swimming to cooking in the garden. That was probably one of my favorite activities. Our garden specialist, Autumn, guided me through many recipes, told me about her experiences at camp, and always was willing to lend me a hand when I struggled. It were times like this that reminded me of home, reminding me of my mom. For the first time outside of my family, I felt community. After a few nights, I called my mom, eager to share the camp magic. Hearing her voice was everything. So full of joy, I realized that her support made me embrace every moment so fully. That summer, camp embraced me. I made friends, tried new things, and felt free to be myself. Then quarantine happened. The world shut down, and nobody knew what was going to happen. Schools became remote, and camp closed for the first time in its 89-year history. I was never sure I was ever going to see my camp friends ever again. The only way to talk with anyone was now through a screen, but it wasn't just my friendships that felt distant. My relationship with my mom felt rocky too. We were suddenly together all the time, but it felt like we were drifting apart. It was like we were both struggling with something, but we didn't know how to bridge the gap. Eventually, coming out of COVID was hard. Communication felt awkward, I felt awkward. It was my freshman year and I was scared to open up. To my friends, to my mom, and to even myself, I was embarrassed and unsure if I'd be accepted. The confidence I had found at camp and the bond I had with my mom felt like distant memories to me. I felt hopeless and sometimes even alone. Coming back to camp didn't help me rediscover my confidence. It also brought me closer to my mom. I was happier, more open, and more like myself again. She noticed the change in me, and I hope I made her proud. I knew I was proud. I found myself taking on leadership roles in talent shows and stepping up while working as a leader in training with Morgan and Kai in live arts. Camp reignited my passion for performing. It was like camp gave me permission to dream big again. Every time I stepped on the stage in the amphitheater, I felt closer to my goal of becoming an actor. And with camp support and my mom's support, I know I can continue chasing those dreams no matter what. Building community and allowing people to be themselves is so important. At camp, I found a place where I can cheer, act, and dream without fear. None of this would have been possible without my mom. She encouraged me to join camp, believed in me when I doubted myself, and gave me the chance to fully dive in. Because of her, I didn't just go to camp. I embraced it, grew from it, and found myself. My name is Justino, and I'm the 2025 Camp Mendocino Youth of the Year.
Hi, my name is Yazaira and I'm 17 years old. I am the 2025 Tenderloin Clubhouse Youth of the Year.
I've been a member of the Tenderloin Clubhouse for 9 years.
I really enjoy doing art-related activities at the club, like doing drawing or painting. I like it because I get to show my creative side and I also get to collaborate with others and show them my work. I really enjoy getting to come into the club every day because I get to get more experience in different types of jobs that I wouldn't have thought otherwise. My mentor at the club is Mike because he's always there for me whenever I need help, and he is very wise and he gives very great advice to me.
When I think of Yazaira, I think of someone that embodies what we do, right? She's the best of us. Her nature brings people in. Yazaira has that kind of personality that makes it so easy to be inclusive and be a part of what the club does.
I plan to go to a 4-year college and study biology because I'm really interested in science and I want to figure out how I can use science as a way to help my community.
I have a confession to make. I never thought I'd willingly give a speech to a crowd of people. I've always been an introvert, but now I'm here at the end of my high school and club journey, which really began with the support of my parents, who are Mexican immigrants. In the past, they worked under the hot sun harvesting lemons by the crate to earn money. But then, immigrating to Watsonville, the town of strawberries, was where they began to assimilate to life in California. Like many first-generation kids, I felt like I needed to take advantage of the opportunities my parents didn't have and use them to make our lives better. The club was a life-changing program that provided a safe space for me while my parents worked multiple jobs. At the club, I had access to resources that would allow me to grow as a lifelong learner and as a member of my community. With programs like Torch Club and Keystone, it gave me exposure to unforgettable experiences. I remember when I picked up a paintbrush and painted a boat under the sea surrounded by coral, and I had a hard time getting the coral to look realistic. But luckily, through the help of Kai, our art director, it came to life with a touch of texture. This was my first time showcasing our painting on an actual boat, marking this memory as my first time being an artist. I realized that the club is my anchor, and I became more involved. Through internships like Spotlight and art partnership with the club, I worked with kids helping them in any art activity we could get our hands on. I joined Keystone, guided by former staff Janelle and Winnie, to volunteer at Sunday Streets, Sequoia Senior Center, and to participate in focus groups with SFMTA. Engaging with my community allowed me to understand how invaluable forming connections is. Just because I am a first-generation kid doesn't mean I will go through everything alone, which is what the club made apparent to me. Truly, I wouldn't be here physically if it weren't for my parents, and I wouldn't be here emotionally without the club. In listening to my story, please remember, be honest with yourself, find your anchor like I found the club, and be the person you envision. And if there are any shy people here, just know that behavior and actions speak just as loudly as words do. My name is Yazaira, and I'm the 2025 Turner Line Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Janelle. I am 16 years old and I am the 2025 Visitation Valley Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I have been at the Visitation Valley Clubhouse for 10 years. At the club, some of my favorite activities would be cooking, art, and drawing. I also like to do the Teen Advocacy Group, or TAG, because we are able to advocate for different social problems and issues inside our communities. My mentor is Nikki. She was there for me the first day that I was at the club, and she has been there with me my entire experience.
Janelle sets a great example at the club because she's dedicated and driven. She's able to connect to so many people, and that's definitely going to help her in college.
For my future plans, I hope to be able to get better in art so I can advocate and express myself while also being able to bring awareness about the different issues in the communities.
Honestly, at first, I wasn't really sure why they asked me to be here, to give a speech in front of all of you. Maybe it's because I've spent most of my life at the club, or maybe it's my sense of humor. But what I do know is that the club have always been there for me as my anchor. Picture a young girl in elementary school, just starting to learn about life and friendships, sometimes controlling others, trying to get her way, not understanding how it makes them feel. Her friends smile, but deep down, they resent how she treats them, and soon she loses those friendships. This little girl then attends a middle school in a different neighborhood, far away from everything familiar to her, leaving her in uncharted waters, feeling isolated and alone. By now, I'm sure you know that little girl is me. I learned that my friends resented me, and it sent me into a downward spiral. I was lost in a storm of regret, replaying my choices and wishing I could turn back time to fix what I had broken. Luckily, I was able to open up to a staff member at the club. He gave me comfort and advice, helping me navigate my feelings and reminding me it was never too late to change. Thanks to his guidance, I learned to become more considerate and understanding, slowly building new friendships and mending my past relationships. Then, just as I was getting my ship to sail again,
the world was hit by a storm no one saw coming, COVID-19. Isolation swept over everyone like a dense fog, leaving many feeling alone and disconnected. But for me, there was a silver lining. My mom worked at the club, and instead of attending school at home alone, I attended online school at the club every day. It became my safe harbor during this time, not only keeping the loneliness and isolation at bay, but it also allowed me to thrive. With a smaller group of kids at the club, I had a chance to dive deeper into activities that I became passionate about, from cooking to arts and crafts to even watching anime. While many students struggle with distance learning, the club provided me with the structure I needed to stay on course in a supportive, close-knit community. Later in the pandemic and coming out of quarantine, the club continued to provide opportunities for me to grow and give back. I have been a teen staff and participated in teen advocacy group and days of advocacy, where I learned to advocate and collaborate and lead. These experiences taught me the skills I not only used for my middle school valedictorian speech, but also still use today. The club has been my anchor, lighthouse, and compass, providing a safe space where I navigated through my voyage. And because of my club, I am stronger than ever. Now, I know why I'm here giving you this speech. I will take what I learned with me to the next steps in my journey. I want to continue to be a voice for my community, to advocate for youth, and to ensure that everyone has the same support as I did. I am Janelle, the 2025 Visitation Valley Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Majestic. I am 17 years old, and I am the 2025 Sunnydale Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I've been a member of the Sunnydale Clubhouse for 10 years. I enjoy working with the younger kids because I like to help them with homework, and the kids are just very silly, energetic, they're fun to be around, and it just gives me something to do in my free time. The club environment helps me with my academics because they offer support. You know, there's tutoring, there's staff there. They're just very inviting, very warm, and they're people I just will never forget. My mentor is Miss Dee because she's been keeping me on my academic A game. She's been making sure I've been applying in colleges. If I'm stressed out and I just need somebody to talk to about how my day went or something, she's always there to listen.
One of my favorite leadership skills that Majestic brings to the club is her tenacity. She is committed to finding joy in every experience that she's having, and it's beautiful to see and it's beautiful to be a part of.
Something I hope to do in the future would be going to school for psychology and then using that degree to either get into human resources or get into counseling to just normalize feelings in my community. Imagine a child who has to hold their parents' emotional baggage. So much baggage that they have minimal time to process their own. They grow up thinking their role is to fix everything and everyone around them. They learn early on that the world isn't safe, that trusting others means risking more pain, and that their own needs aren't important enough to voice. They hold on to the hope that one day, someone will heal the part of themselves that craves someone to nurture and protect them. And here's the thing, that pain doesn't just fade when the child grows up. It lingers, shaping how they see the world, how they connect with others, and eventually, how they parent their own children. This describes a concept known as generational trauma. It is the invisible thread of psychological and emotional wounds passed down from one generation to the next. And unless something interrupts it, this cycle keeps going, unseen but deeply felt. Sunnydale is my home, and I love my community. But the truth is, my community has been through a lot. The older I get, the more I see how generational trauma affects the people I care about. I have experienced firsthand the impact of gun violence, drug abuse, and mental health issues. I want my community to understand what generational trauma is, how it shows up in their lives, and ultimately, help them understand how to end the cycle. For me, the Boys and Girls Club has been a powerful source of hope and healing. It's where I first started to understand myself and this cycle of trauma around me. Through programs like Teen Advocacy Group, I learned about mental health. We created a video that raised awareness about the challenges that teens are facing today. I gained a better understanding of my emotions, where they come from, and what healthy coping mechanisms look like. I also learned the importance of having caring and trusting adults around me. The club gave me a sense of belonging and a community of people who believed in me. People like Star, JB, Dee Dee, and Madison made the club feel like a second home. In the future, I hope to go to college to study psychology and to help people better understand themselves, just like the club helped me. Breaking the cycle of generational trauma isn't easy, but it's possible. Especially when we come together as a community, we can rewrite the narrative for future generations. It is all of our responsibilities to end generational trauma. My name is Majestic, and I am proud to be the 2025 Sunnydale Clubhouse Youth of the Year.
Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm 17 years old, and I am the 2025 Excelsior Clubhouse Youth of the Year. I've been a member of the Excelsior Clubhouse for 9 years. One of my favorite things at the club is Keystone. I like all the fundraisers we get to do for the teens and all the volunteer opportunities we get to go on. One other thing I like to do at the club is cooking with middle schoolers and teens and making authentic Hispanic dishes. A mentor at the club for me, I would say, is Jenny. She really helped me embrace my mental health and teach me that I'm not in it alone and that there's always other people that will be here for me.
Leslie is a great leader here at Excelsior Clubhouse because she's someone that takes initiative. She's someone that is able to do things without being asked and read situations really well. She's going to be a great asset wherever she goes.
My future plans are to go to Sacramento or Chico State and study to be a mental health clinician. I hope to inspire teens to open up more and make them feel comfortable with someone that they can talk to and feel safe. Let me tell you a story about a little girl. A girl who didn't even know she was struggling with her mental health, but who knew something was wrong with her. This little girl always felt alone. She didn't have a voice and couldn't be herself. She was in a broken home with a lot of fighting and yelling. She couldn't hear her own thoughts at night and would lock herself in her room till the next day, waiting for it to be over. This little girl realized that her parents' marriage was falling apart. She didn't want to accept it, and she certainly didn't understand her own feelings about it. In her home, everyone was in denial, and the problems would continue to grow. She couldn't tell her parents how she felt. They would brush it off, and she didn't want to add to her parents' stress. She had no one. She was all alone. Until she stepped into a place called the Boys and Girls Club, a place she didn't realize would change her life for the better. The club is the home she always wanted, but never had. The place she felt comfortable being herself, a stable place where she never had to hold back or fake a smile. The club healed her inner child and made her feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Now you might be asking, why is she talking about herself in the third person? It is because I am still not ready to say I. I'm still learning how to process this chapter in my life. When I was younger, there weren't many opportunities to address mental health, and I didn't see a therapist until I was in high school. When I did see a therapist, I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I wanted things to be instantly better, but depression and anxiety are issues that build over time and cannot be fixed overnight. Mental health issues are not easy to talk about. That's why I was in denial for so long. Fortunately, I'm in therapy and I discovered my voice at the club. The Boys and Girls Club helped me discover my voice by providing me with opportunities, resources, and people who allowed me to speak my mind. As a high schooler, I worked at the club and took a leadership role as vice president of Keystone. Keystone has helped me become a better leader and helped me realize that I like to take action when a problem arises. Jenny, my high school services director, had a big impact on my life. She helped me be comfortable with who I am. Jenny inspired me to always be the best version of myself. She's a great role model and my biggest supporter. Jenny is the safety net I did not realize I needed. She's always telling me that I'm a sociable person, which is why people feel comfortable around me. This made me realize I want to study psychology in college and become a mental health clinician so I can be a safety net for vulnerable people and support individuals like me who need it. I want to help those who also went through similar experiences so that no one has to be alone. I hope to one day help youth who are dealing with challenges at home and are struggling with their mental health. My name is Leslie, the 2025 Excelsior Clubhouse Youth of the Year. Thank you.
Please welcome Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco's president, Rob Connolly, to the stage.
Hello again. That was awesome. You all were amazing. I've heard your speeches many, many times at this point, and you all were better today than you've ever been. Please do recognize yourself. You all were amazing. You know, I realize we haven't said this so far tonight, but people wonder, like, how do you reach the decision of who's going to be Citywide Youth of the Year? And I know we talked about the selection committee earlier, but there's three parts to it, really. There's the speech, there's one-on-one interviews, and then there's a packet of information that the selection committee members go through. So selection committee, you could see what their burden was in trying to select someone out of that amazing group of 9. So terrific job again. I'm also reminded, and then I'm going to stop and get to what I'm supposed to be doing, just how much the pandemic affected young people, and that was at such a point in your lives as you were growing up and moving through middle school and into high school. And the Boys and Girls Club had 4 sites that never closed through the pandemic, as you heard Janelle talk about, and the other ones that only closed for about 8 weeks. Thanks to the city, and Supervisor Mandelman has left at this point, but I remember him coming over to the Columbia Park Clubhouse, and Crankstart Foundation is here, and they funded us, but we needed the support, and so many of you in this room supported us to keep the doors open at that time. And these guys they were young. We didn't, they weren't names that of course anyone in this room knew, but the club was meaningfully part of your lives in getting through that chapter, and you all articulated so well what the club meant to you, especially in that chapter. Anyway, why I'm supposed to be up here is not to do that. It's to introduce a special guest, and I am really pleased to have with us the 46th mayor of San Francisco, someone who was a colleague of mine in the nonprofit sector for well over 2 decades. Through the work of the Tipping Point Foundation, did amazing work in the community to help young people and families, people that we care about and that we work with through the Boys and Girls Club and other great nonprofit organizations in San Francisco. So it's my honor to welcome to the stage and to thank him for being here, Mayor Daniel Lurie.
I just told Leslie and Majestic that I was more nervous than they were. I just walked in. You two were incredible. I'm sorry I missed the others, but what a testament for this packed room. Thank you. Thank you for your commitment to this incredible organization. We need to continue investing in great nonprofits, great organizations like this one. And if Rob is running it, you know you are in good hands. Rob, congratulations. When I was running the organization that I was running, I would talk to Rob often, and he was always one of the strongest leaders in this region, someone that I always looked up to, so it was always good to partner with you. I don't have a lot to say, except for this. San Francisco is on the rise. San Francisco is on its way back. And there is no more better testament to that than seeing these young people who deserve all of us recommitting ourselves to San Francisco, to building strong organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, building strong arts and culture, recommitting your businesses like Schwab has always done, recommitting yourselves to San Francisco. We are going to go out, my administration, we are going to go out and tell the world that we are open for business again, that we are open for people from around the country and around the world to come see what makes San Francisco so great. It is our young people, it is our arts and culture scene, it is our strong nonprofit community, and it is our strong business community. But we have to do it together. We have a new era of cooperation and collaboration at City Hall. Raphael Mandelman, who was here, the board president, was elected with an 11-0 vote at the Board of Supervisors. We are all on the same page at City Hall. We need to get results for all of you, for our young people. You deserve to be safe. You deserve clean streets. You deserve good schools. You deserve great nonprofits taking care of you, and you taking care of us in just a few years. And so listen, I'm going to walk out because you all want me grinding and going to work. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to this organization, but thank you also for your commitment to San Francisco. I'm done with people outside of San Francisco defining us. We in this room get to define San Francisco, and what better way than the Boys and Girls Club, the youth. Thank you, and thank you for having me. Rob, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
From Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco's Board of Governors, please welcome Heather Childs.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you please join me in one more round of applause for the 2025 Youth of the Year? They were incredible. I'm Heather Childs, co-chair of today's event, along with Eli Weiss and Julian Eisen. Thank you. And I'm a proud board member of the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco. I think we can all agree today we heard 9 incredibly inspiring stories. I know I was moved several times during the speeches, and not just by these teams' individual talents and accomplishments, although those are extraordinary. I was moved because when I look at these 9 exceptional young people, I see the future leaders of our communities, and that gives me confidence and hope. A personal icon of mine, the late civil rights leader John Lewis, used to say, "Real leaders are not appointed. They emerge out of the masses of the people and rise to the forefront through the circumstances of their lives." So when I hear our youth credit the Boys and Girls Club with giving them resources and safe spaces to become these leaders, I am so incredibly proud. These young people don't take this opportunity for granted, and neither should we. That's why your support is so important, particularly now. As you know, the Boys and Girls Club is already working in under-resourced areas of our city. But over the next several years, there is the prospect that the communities we serve and organizations we love will have even fewer resources to draw from. So it's up to us here in this room, our communities, to ensure we have a safe place for everyone. to be a child and to have an opportunity. In this era where sometimes we can feel defined by division, Boys and Girls Clubs are open to everyone, to all kids who need a smile, want a hug, need a snack, and sometimes tough love when the opportunity arises. And for these boys and girls and the young people here today, the club represents what unites us in our common humanity. It represents the best among us, and that's what this city and the world needs. So if you were inspired here today, like I was, if you believe everyone should have an opportunity, please make a contribution. Our goal here today in this room is to raise $200,000 to support the Boys and Girls Club throughout the spring and summer. And thanks to a generous donation, we have a $50,000 match to incentivize giving today. All gifts will be matched dollar for dollar up to $50,000. So for those of you here in the Hyatt, there are donation cards and pencils on your table. You can fill out the card and hand it to staff around the room who have balloons. I see the balloons right here. And for those of you joining from a distance, the QR code to donate is located on the screen right now. All gifts are appreciated, no matter how big, no matter how small, so please give at the level you're comfortable. Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Youth of the Year.
Please welcome the Managing Director and Chief Marketing Officer at Charles Schwab, Stacy Hammond, to the stage.
So I, like many of you, have been sitting out there cheering on these incredible youths for years and years, and this is kind of a thrilling opportunity, honestly, to be standing up here and announcing the Youth of the Year. Schwab has been a proud supporter of Boys and Girls Club for 30 years nationally and 17 years here in San Francisco supporting this event. One of the reasons why we're so committed to Boys and Girls Club is we truly believe that the way that we can build brighter futures, and you guys are sure building an incredibly bright future, is to help make sure that young people develop the money skills they need to prosper. And when you prosper, all of us will prosper as well. So at Schwab, we do believe that investing has the power to transform people's lives. And this is literally one of the best investments we can make in transforming lives. In fact, the donations that you guys were just asked for is probably one of the best ways that we can continue to help transforming lives. Every year, these award nominees have inspired me. I go home, I tell my kids what I learned, what I wish they were doing. They inspire me with their resilience, with their incredible poise. I know what it feels like to walk up on the stage and think, it's really dark out there, you guys should know, that you are sharing your heart with these people in the audience, and I celebrate your courage and your bravery, and I can't wait to see what every one of you takes out into the community and the change that you will make. So I'm gonna echo Rob here, who said, savor this moment. In fact, could we all applaud one more time for the winners? And also, again, I will echo the thanks to every single person who made it possible that you all are standing here in front of us. So, on behalf of Charles Schwab, thank you, Rob. I am honored to present the award for the 2025 Citywide Youth of the Year to Elda.
Wow, I'm so honored to be recognized as a Citywide Youth of the Year. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, my family, and friends for always being there and believing in me. I'd like to thank all the staff at Willie Mays Clubhouse Thank you to my mentors, coaches, fellow Youth of the Year for being there for every step of the journey. Special thanks to my club coach Leilani and academic coach Aaron for being my cheerleaders and my Ubers through this very, very long journey. Being selected as Citywide Youth of the Year will help give me the platform to advocate for youth and help foster the change for my community and communities like mine. Thank you so much for supporting the Boys and Girls Club of San Francisco. Thank you.
Please welcome Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco's Chief Operating Officer, Maxine Wilson, to the stage.
Okay, can we give one more round of applause to all 9 of our Youth of the Year? So congratulations, Elda, for being named Citywide Youth of the Year. Big, big, big deal. So proud of you. And as a reminder, all 9 of these young people from tonight are Youth of the Year. So let's give it up for all 9. We didn't say this throughout the program, I don't think, but we deliberately wait until the very end of the luncheon or event to name the Youth of the Year, because today is about honoring all of them and celebrating all of their work. So please remember that. We're going to be calling on all of you. Your stories amplify our mission and inspire our organization to strive for greatness each and every day. I want to take a moment to recognize and express my gratitude to the coaches and clubhouse staff who have supported each of our Youth of the Year. Many, not just for the last 5 months, but from the time they may have become a club member. So finally, I want to thank each of you for attending, including those of you who are joining us virtually. Your ongoing support of Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco now and in years to come is vital to our success. Thank you again for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day.